Hey
Awesome.
everyone, welcome back. My what I've learned in my first interview on the show, we have Dan
Pinckney.
Pinckney. That's it.
Yes.
The sea is silent. So he's an author. He's local here in Rhode Island. I come across his book, and he's going to tell us a little bit about it. But first, we're going to hear a little bit about the man himself. How are you today, sir?
I am doing very well. Thank you very much. I'm pretty excited about this. I've been thinking about it for a couple of days, ever since I first got a hold of you and you had the advertisement. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I've been dying to have someone on here. I've been dying to have you on here. It's just having to find the
the
time.
time, yes. I work a lot, so it's just yeah. I
I
managed to
hear
get some time here.
you.
I started a new
So,
job in two less than 2 weeks, so I'll be
oh,
down in
nice,
this. I'll be down in Newport. I am a park ranger. I
nice.
started a pilot program last year, loved it, and when it ended, because it's only seasonal, I told them hire me back when it comes, and they did. They called me and said, "Okay, we're starting up again." So next week it'll start up. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm not surprised how you're back because I mean it's getting to be the busy season. So,
Yes.
yeah. So tell us a little about the man. How'd you come about before being an author and all the things you've done?
Um, I've always, as a kid, even I could write, and I had English teachers telling me you should write a novel. And uh, as it was, I was in the service, and we were in a classified spot, and we were told not no TV, no radio, just bring a book or something. And I bought a book and I read it, and I won't go over the other author, but I thought, wow, the book was good, but until the end, and it just petered out. And I'm like, I could do a better job. So I started working on one, and then a few years later, I came up with my first novel, which is called Journey to the Catskills. And I
Okay.
chose the Catskills. You can see that I chose
Oh
the
yeah.
cats. Can you see it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you can. Okay. I chose that book because of the fact that I grew up in New York, and in the
Okay.
Catskill Mountains, it's about a pandemic, and the cure is found in the Catskills, and everybody in the world is trying to get to the Catskills. So what would you do? And then I had a pretty good. I self-published it because I was trying to find a publisher, and then I got pretty well successful, and I liked it. And then
Mhm.
other ideas. I have probably 15 more books in my computer, partially done and mostly done, that I'm ready to go. But then I contacted this publisher, and I thought they said, yeah, they would be interested in seeing it. I can't remember the publisher's name. I'm sorry. Um,
That's all right.
it's yeah, Austin McCauley. I had
Okay.
contacted Austin McCauley, and they said, yeah, they would be interested because I sent them a query, and I sent them Hurricane Rescue. And it's Hurricane Rescue is I saw the Today Show back in 2017 after the hurricane uh, uh, Catherine or Karen, whatever it was, it decimated the Caribbean. They had people on there that were survivors, and they were telling about their survival stories. And they had a little English guy come on, and the English person was talking about how his daughter was trapped on one of the islands with her boyfriend. There was gunfire. He needed some help, and
Oh,
he
well,
basically said, "You Americans, go in there, shoot whoever you have to, and save." And they cut him off. And after I saw that, I'm like, "Wow, that would be a cool." And that's where Hurricane Rescue came through. I
oh, I
turned it
see.
into a romantic. The first one is fantasy. This one is a romantic adventure,
What
and I
happened to
had
that
so much
guy?
fun. Huh, what's that?
What happened to those people?
I don't I don't know what happened to the Englishman. They cut
Oh,
him off because he was asking Americans to go in there and kill whoever you needed to. They can't. That would be something they could get in trouble for if anybody followed
yeah.
through. So I wrote Hurricane Rescue, and something tried to get. I touched briefly on that and came up with this, and it came out so well. My wife read it; she liked it, and so I wrote a second, a third, and now I'm on a fourth. It was only supposed to be one book, but it so many things keep popping through my head and
Yeah, that's
ways
how
to
it works.
go. Yes. And when
Yeah.
I'm writing, the story, I swear, the story writes itself. I'm the medium. I'm the guy in the middle there, just passing on what I get in my head and putting it onto paper.
Now, do you use some kind of an outline, like the
Yes.
premise, but
I
okay.
this I started the outline off, but midway through, the outline was going like this, and then I just went
Mhm.
like that in at right field, and I just kept going, and it seemed like it kept coming. And every time I'd stop for a little while because you get a writer's cramp, a writer's block,
Mhm.
and then I'd rest and I'd type something else, and then I get an idea for the book, and it was, I swear, the book wrote itself, and it kept going, and that's what it did with the other two. And the third one, I just started the third one, so it'll be way in the future. So it's kind of cool.
Nice, nice.
So anything if people have been asking me who read the first one, said, what's the second, third, and fourth one gonna be? Like I said, you got to read, pay,
Oh yeah.
buy it, read it, and then the fourth one, I said, yeah, if you read it and you like them, and maybe I'll get some people on. Maybe I'll do an idea of going on a podcast like your podcast and asking people, hey, how about suggestions? What would you like to see happen? And I'm open to doing that. It's fun. I enjoy writing,
Oh,
and
nice.
I'm going to retire soon. So this is what I told my wife. This is where I'm going to be. I'm going to be working on my books because I enjoy it. I just don't have enough time.
Right, but now with retirement, sure. And what
Yeah, I'll
better way
retire
to
in October
spend?
or November, and then I'll just have plenty of time to write, and which it's so relaxing for me and so exciting, especially when I get a real good idea in my head, and
Mhm.
it just like I said, it just comes through, and it just keeps going, and I got it down on paper.
And that must be when you have to grab it.
What's that, sir?
That must be when you have to grab those ideas, because I've heard people tell me how they carry recorders, they carry, paper, they write on their phone when they get an idea.
Yes. And if I don't write it down right away, I actually have a little notebook I carry along. If I get an idea, I log it down. I only have to put 2 or 3 words, but then I'll be able to remember. And then I go ahead and I come home and at night, putting it down. And it really, even when I'm sleeping, I wake up sometimes, and my wife knows I've woken her, turn the light on and start logging ideas. She's like, what'd you get now? I got an idea, so, and I put it into my book.
Yeah.
Yeah, she loves that. Yeah, 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh, turn the
Yeah, I was
light
gonna
out.
say, yeah, that sounded like sarcasm, so I don't think she'd like to get waken up doing
Yeah, she
morning.
does. Yeah, she was. Yeah, I was being sarcastic. Yeah, she's just. Oh, she's like, oh my god. Okay,
When
whatever.
you got creative juices flowing, you gotta take it when you can.
That's right. If I don't write it down, I wake up in the morning. I'm like, oh, what the heck was I thinking? And I just don't remember. So I just basically do. I write it down then, and there it is. And I have next morning, first thing in the morning, boom, boom. I put it on the paper and expand on it, and then I save it till I can get more time to work on it completely. That's how I worked a couple of chapters that were I had what am I going to do next? What am I going to do? What's the character going to do? How would he work this? And then, oh, hey, this, and then boom, boom. Then the next thing you know, I'm doing 2, 3, 4, 5 chapters, all in that one thought.
Did your first book take a while?
The first book, yes, the first book took me about 10 years to write. I wasn't sure how to do. I did not start with an outline, which I always do now. And I was like, what am I trying to say? What am I going to say about this book? And pieces came to me, and then more stuff came to me. And when I wrote Journey to the Catskills, I was like, oh wow. And then I was like, well, where should I have the cure be? And then I was talking to my friend of mine who had a son, and we were talking about I was showing him a book, and I saw Rip Van Winkle, and I'm thinking, Rip Van Winkle, that's the Catskills, that's where I'm from. That's when I was like, well, maybe I'll make it in the Catskills. So that's what I did, and Catskills it was.
Nice, very
Yes,
nice.
it's weird when we get ideas for. Well, you said you're a chef. Do you ever get ideas to try out new meals?
I do, and the
Yes,
funny part is, it'll be at the strangest moments, and sometimes I'll just walk around a supermarket just to get ideas,
that's not bad.
and
I
not
go.
necessarily
That's
buy anything either. I just go through there. Seriously, or I'll walk through like a food service place, a vendor. I do mainly now a lot of demonstrations and videos,
really.
but yeah. So I mean, I do a lot of reading. I do like to read. I read a lot of self-help and personal development type,
Okay.
stuff.
Can I make a
Yeah.
suggestion to you?
Sure, of
Go to
course.
different parts of the country and meet with little people. One of my favorite places to go is South Carolina in near Charleston. Uh, and there were so many people with so many ideas, and then you talk to them, and they have all kinds of these little markets on. People are, oh, this is a creation I have. You can get an idea. Maybe it's something that nobody's ever had before. Some of it's hot, some of it's unique. I had eel down there for the first time in my life. And I was like, it wasn't actually, it wasn't bad. It was fried, but it was fried eel. I'd never
Yeah.
heard of eating an eel. So I thought it was kind of cool.
I've only cooked eel once, and that was for
Really?
Christmas Eve for someone. Yeah, freshwater eel. And I was lucky to
Okay.
find it. But it was for a Christmas Eve dinner. This is some years back for
Well, I
someone
thought it
that
was
I've
very good, and let me know, and do you have a place where you serve the food, or do you have a restaurant?
no, I do not. I'm a personal chef, so I go to people's
Okay, I was going to
homes.
say if you had one, I'd try it out, and I'll go up there. But if you ever do, let me know. I'll be one of your first customers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And I noticed something too, backpedal a little bit, that you're retired military, but I saw something in your bio about military contractor.
Yes, sir. Um, when you retire, you can go into the program of a teaching junior ROTC. It's the kids in high school.
Oh,
It gives
okay.
them another field, keeps them, let them focus on something, and you're committed to the school. You've got a contract with the school. You keep your uniform. You cannot be. We could not be sent away. I mean, sent somewhere, deployed someplace because we've retired. But it does count towards retirement. It did pump up. I retired a little early. I retired at 16 and a half years because they gave it a chance. The Air Force is trying to reduce itself, and I was only a staff sergeant, and they said, okay, you can retire if you want because you're right in the middle of this field. My wife had just had our very first son, and I had a year assignment to Korea, and I was like, I'm never going to see my son, and it was tore me apart. And when about 3 months before I was supposed to ship out, they came out with the early retirement program. I think my hand was shot up in the air before the colonel even finished talking. And
Mhm.
then by going into the contracting, becoming a junior ROTC, I because you get penalized for leaving before 20 years, they took away some pay. But by going into junior ROTC for 14 years, I brought the pay up to the 50% mark. So when I'm retired now, I receive a paycheck from Uncle Sam, and I get my full paycheck for my rank
Nice.
versus instead of being cut back a little bit and a significant amount. And now it's come back and it's really good. I liked it.
Oh, very nice. Because when I think of military contractors, I always think of like Blackwater,
Oh
those
yeah,
type of
this
companies. They
we
do like
cover that.
retired.
Well, the program itself is I had to go to school for the junior ROTC program with the Air Force, a 2 week training session down in Alabama. It was hot down there, and they trained us in what we needed to do. The thing was, I always wanted to be a teacher, so I finished that, and I went to before I became an instructor, junior ROTC instructor. I went back to school. I already had my bachelor's degree, so I went back to school and I got another bachelor's degree and certified as a teacher in history. And then this popped up with ROTC, and then I liked it. I enjoyed it tremendously, but you just eventually you burn out because you don't. A junior ROTC instructor does not get the same time off as a regular teachers are off in the summer, not junior ROTC instructors.
Right.
You get part-time off, but you're going to be doing drills, you're going to be doing things, you have meetings, a lot of training. The Air Force, you're still a member of the Air Force, so you're going to Alabama every year. They'd send me to Alabama and I do some more training.
Oh, nice. Because I think,
Yeah.
see, when I think of, I know some people that told me their high schools had it. Mine did not. Around here, the community college has a deal. Providence College.
Providence, yeah, that's any colleges, any senior institutions have. If you're in junior, if you're in, it's not junior, it's regular ROTC. You're in ROTC. You're on active duty when you graduate, or in the Guard or Reserve. The junior ROTC is just a program to get the kids interested in the military, and it's not. There's no contract,
There's
but
no
if you do
obligation.
it,
Okay.
they give you extra stripes for going in. If you do like 2 years or 2 or 3 years with the military one branch, if you're going into that military branch, they usually give you extra stripes because
Oh,
you already know. They know how to march. They know the military commands. They know a bunch of things about the military, so they get extra stripes going in without signing extra duty.
okay.
You don't have to sign up for 6 years. You do 4 years, and you can go in with two stripes if you've had 3 years of ROTC.
Yeah, I had a teacher that I think it was no, sophomore year,
Mm-hmm.
that he told me he had gone to PC. That's what he was. He had done ROTC. So when he got out, he was in the military for so long. But he was like he didn't go to boot camp. You just go automatically to
You
whatever.
don't. You skip it because you're doing while you're a student at the colleges during the summer breaks. That's when they send you to orientation training and some kind of training out in the different field. Each branch is different. Each of the branches have different lengths of training, and they do their orientation and training there during their summers. It's not the entire summer. They're pretty easy. It's usually about a month and a half, and then you're back, and then the rest of the summer is yours, and then they're going back and finishing up. It's the best way to become an officer in the military, by doing ROTC.
Yeah. Yeah, because he told us he automatically was like he had rank captain or something.
Oh, lieutenant. Most
Yeah.
The Army, the Air Force, and the Marines all do lieutenant, then the first lieutenant, second lieutenant, captain, major, colonel, and on and on. The Coast Guard, the Navy, and now, as I've been hearing, the Space Force are all going to be using the nautical rates, which would start you off as an ensign, and then lieutenant junior grade, and then go on up and up. Our captain is a two bars. That's a lieutenant in the U.S. Navy. So it's kind of cool. And their captain is like captain of a ship, and that's our colonel rank. So that's their captain rank. And that's how each of the branches, there's 3 and 3 now. So with this addition of Space Force, they've decided to use those nautical ranks because they have ships. They're going to have ships, and they're going to have ports, and they're going to have things in space. That's what they're planning.
Yeah. What's very nice too about like being able to retire young, how you
Mhm.
retired, is that you can
It's
get
not enough
paid.
to live on. I mean, it pays my mortgage.
Mhm.
My wife and I don't have to worry, and we get the mortgage paid. So it's pretty much, that's it though. But after the mortgage is being paid off, yeah, there's a thousand and change there that we're going to be using for whatever we want. And when we retire, we're close to paying the house off. When we do retire, Europe, here we come, or
Yeah.
Asia, we get to fly for free.
Oh,
So
nice.
Westover Air Force Base, there's 3 bases in the U.S. There's Westover Air Force Base in Massachusetts. There's McGuire Air Force Base in New Jersey, and then there's Charleston Air Force Base in South Carolina. Those are the 3 locations that usually go to Europe, and it's free. You go, you sign up. If they have space, what's called Space A, space available, climb on the airplane, and they only go to specific spots. Westover out of Massachusetts flies only to Rota, Spain. But once you get there, you get off the airplane, no money, and you get off the airplane, and then you start your vacation. Then you have to pay. There's cars. They get people all the time. And then going back's harder because people are, it always seems like more people are coming back than going over.
Then going over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Then you have to wait sometimes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know someone telling me when I was really young about is it true with a military ID while you're in the military you can fly for free?
No.
Oh, it's not. All right. I thought someone had
Unless you
told me
do a
that years
space
ago.
A, if you go onto a military aircraft, yeah, that's free. But if you want to fly with like used to be TWA, but that was the big order brand. If those are the old ones that are no longer there, American Airlines,
I
you'll
remember
pay. And if it's military orders, the government will buy the ticket for you, but it depends on where you're going and where whoever is flying you there.
that. Right.
But it's not, unless, I mean, again, if I was on active duty and I had orders to Korea, they would have put me on an airplane and flew me over to Korea. And then would have been, I started my duty there.
Right. Yeah, while you're there, yeah, that would think
Yep.
that's also. I thought someone had told me that like commercial flights and anything you could go on with
Well,
like a
not if
military
you have
ID.
military orders that say you have to go somebody, and if you say like you're in the military and you're going to go to Germany, but you got orders and they're flying you, you're going to fly, we'll say American Airlines. Okay, you go over to report and you fly. And usually the military will set up the appointment for when you're going to pick up the airplane and where you're going to go. Because when you get there, one of the cool things about the military, which I missed when I retired, was when you were going someplace new, they always had something set up. I mean, you knew where you're going to go, you knew where you're going to meet, you knew when you're going to arrive, you knew what you're going to be that pretty much that first night, except for like combat deployments, which are not a lot of fun. But you deploy, you don't know where you're going to be. Sometimes they tell you and sometimes they don't. And when you deploy, you arrive, I arrived with, I flew on an airplane out of an Air Force base in Germany. I can't say where I was going. and I was with a bunch of other guys that I had never met before. And, it's like kind of weird because you don't know, like you're looking around, you don't know anybody on the airplane. And then you arrive and it was at a place where nothing was set up. And, we were pretty much sleeping in sleeping bags on the ground the first night. So that's how it was set up. But
Oh,
that's the military. It's what it's our job.
right.
So,
Exactly. So
mhm.
then after this, so you were a teacher, a
Yes.
certified
So
teacher?
I'm certified history and I'm still a certified history teacher, but I went into the field of teaching for a while and then the junior ROTC spot opened up. So I jumped
Mhm.
on the junior ROTC spot and I worked in Woonsocket High School until I did it, I think 11 years. And I just got tired and it was time to leave. So I left and whatchamacallit, it was hard, but I needed to do something else. And because it's very stressful. You're responsible for a lot of kids, especially going what's their train. They have the training in the summer. You're responsible if something goes wrong, or if you take them on an overnight. And the Air Force, in my case, the Air Force wanted us to take them on overnights. You are these kids, some of the kids get a hold of alcohol, and guess who's in trouble? And the
Right.
teacher's in trouble. So
Especially
you got to be,
nowadays. Oh,
well, we try to get as many parents to go along as possible, but a lot of them have busy lives and they're like, I can't go. I understand. But if you can, you got a free trip to wherever we're going and, you get a free room and say, we just want you to help keep an eye on things.
right.
Lots of stories. I mean, hundreds of stories. Maybe someday I'll write about what happened, some of the weird things that happened on those trips.
Yeah,
It
that
was
could
fun.
be, yeah, that could be a good little
Another
novel there.
story.
Yeah, no story.
Yeah. Well, like you did for doing this, you had sent me that thing. I would have to send a permission slip, so I'd have to probably send out permission slips to everybody to write about the stories. But yeah, I think it would be kind of interesting, kind of fun.
Yeah. Or you could just change the names around and
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing to pass on is it's not in the books yet, but that's the other idea. I've met a lot of famous people in the service. I got to
Nice.
meet Jimmy Carter, shake hands with President Jimmy Carter in South Carolina, and I was one of the two airmen chosen to fuel Air Force One with our
Wow.
military trucks. And there was a guy named Major Fay who was the head of the Secret Service. I got a chance to talk to him, and he walked me around all the dangerous areas, and I'm like every area, and I was looking, I could see snipers up on the different buildings. Like, oh, I hope you're who you are, who you say you are. So I got to meet him. I got to meet Anwar Sadat, president of Egypt. I got to meet,
Really?
yeah, Jimmy Mon.
Jim, yeah. Because he got
Yeah,
assassinated. I remember
yes, he was a
I was a
grenade.
kid. Yeah.
Yep. I got to meet him. I got to meet Walter Mondale, who was the vice president of the United States. I got to meet the Shah of Iran. I got to talk to him. He was from New York and he spoke perfect English. And I was like, holy crap. And it was fine because he grew up in New York, not far away. I grew up from New York. I'm from New York State. Met
Oh,
my wife
okay.
in the military and happy wife, happy life. So here I
Yeah.
am. And
Nice.
by the way, not many people know this, but there is a part two. Unhappy wife, seek shelter immediately. So,
Exactly.
yes, everybody
That's
smiles.
got to be for sure.
Oh yeah, and everybody's like, yeah, that's true, that's true. So
I
yes, it is.
believe that.
Yeah. So I try to do things like that. That's actually in one of the books coming up, and that's quote. So yeah, I put that in there in
Nice.
book number 2, I think it is.
Nice. I gotta tell you a quick funny story about
Go
presidents.
ahead.
My friend Lou, who God rest his soul, he died last October. He used to he was a professor in Roger Williams, but he
Okay.
also taught in different he worked FBI consulting, and he's telling me how he got started with that. And long story short, he goes, well, I got to meet a president. And I said, oh yeah, which one? And with the look on his face, he was like, Nixon, like that. And I said, whatever happened to him after that whole debacle? Where did he go? And he goes, I don't know, Rick. He went home. Because like it was like he just dropped off the face of the earth. Like I don't remember seeing like pictures of I was a kid.
Yeah.
I remember one of his speeches when I was really little, just barely, like on the TV coming on, those, meet the press kind of things. When I was
Hmm.
really little, but I don't really remember. I just remember kind of seeing it. But it's like where do you go? Like, someone like me could just disappear. I can go live anywhere.
Anywhere.
But where does someone
Nixon went
that's the
back to
president?
Virginia.
Oh, Virginia. Okay.
I got his autograph. I for a long time I collected. I have him a photo of him and his wife, and
Mhm.
both of them, and it's a picture, and it's both of them signed. And I received a letter too from the secretary who sent it out because I requested it, and she said this is an actual signature, and so that's in there with the picture. I don't know where it's in the house somewhere. I got to find it, but I did. So Nixon, Pat Nixon, and Richard Nixon both signed, and uh, people have offered me a lot of money for. I'm like, I think I'll give that to my kids, but
Yeah.
maybe now if he's not as well known, but maybe now I'll sell it or give it to the kids and let them sell it. But I collected autographs and I met him that way.
Oh,
So
very nice.
I was
Yeah, I just
offered
always.
$500 once back in like 1990 when uh, Dolly Parton was on the cover of Playboy, and I I thought, oh great, this is a great, and I ripped it off and I took it and mailed it to her. She signed it and sent it back, and the postal master who saw it, the postal guy who saw it, I opened it in front of him, and he's like, I'll give you $500 for that poster right now. So if you
Nice.
so I still had that one I have, and I saw it recently. So I'm like, yeah, that'll be something valuable. And
Oh, for sure.
oh
Dolly
yeah,
Parton, for sure.
so it's there's different things that I get involved with. So I had fun. Who else have you met that was in? I'm trying to think of. I know I met other people that were important. So, but I've met like presidents and but shaking Jimmy Carter's hand, President Carter's hand was quite
Mhm.
interesting. I did get in trouble for that. The next morning, I was called into my commanding officer's office, and I'm thinking, what happened? And he's like, I saw you on TV, he said to me. And I said, yes, sir. And he said, when you see the president of the United States, the first thing you do is not raise your hand, you salute. I forgot to salute the president of the United States. I was in uniform and I was excited at first, and I just forgot to, and I'm like, oh.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but the major saw it. He was laughing about it, but because he knew I was excited and it was my first thing, and it was fun. It was kind of there. So, but it was the way he said it, and like, next time salute the president. So I've always
Yeah.
remembered that. So, and then when other presidents have gone by, when I was with with the military, they arrived on base, you salute and things like that. Ronald Reagan, when he came in, we didn't see him, but there was an American who was held in Lebanon for a long time, was beaten and everything, and he
Oh,
came.
yeah.
I forget the name. Tim,
Yeah.
and he landed at my base. When he arrived back United States, he was in rough shape, and everybody we were ordered to salute. Everybody saluted him, and it was kind of cool. So,
Very nice.
by the way, I'll teach you something here.
Sure.
I'm going to teach you salutes,
Okay.
and I hope you don't mind me if I pick on some a certain portion of the country, but this is an American salute. You put your fingers in between right there in your eye. If you show your knuckles, there
Like
you go.
this? Okay.
Yeah, and your thumb is right up here. Put your thumb
Okay.
right. Okay, and that's how you do American salute. You drop. The British salute like this because we've never lost a war. The British have, so they salute. And as I like to say, the French salute like this, but that just makes it a lot easier for when you're comrades. I used to work with the French Foreign Legion. I worked with a French Foreign Legion guy, and
Just I
he
love
taught
that.
me
Yeah.
that one. He's like, "We do this so we can surrender you." I'm like, "Seriously?" So I said, "I'm going to use that," and he said, "Go for it."
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yes, but none of the French Foreign Legion people supposedly are from France. Only their officers. If you're a foreigner and you wish to join the French, you become an enlisted person. And
Mhm.
that's what guy was. I think he was from Germany, but he spoke perfect English, perfect French, obviously German, and or Deutsch as he pronounces it. It was so fascinating to listen to the guy. He told me
Nice.
stories about the French Foreign Legion. Scared the donkers out of me. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to do
No, no,
it.
they do a penalty. You have to walk around sort of like a duck, and you're squatting down, and he's like, after 2 or 3 minutes, your legs are ready to explode in pain, but they make you do that all the time if you mess up. And he said, you remember what the mistake was, and you never do that mistake again. That's one of the things they learned. I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's awesome.
Yep.
So time's winding down here. We got a few more
Oh,
minutes, but I want to
yes.
know where can we get all these books? I
Uh,
need to buy mine.
Barnes and Noble. Some they said they have to sell. I mean, I have to sell X amount in a store, and but they'll if they start I said if they sell 10 or more in any one Barnes and Noble, not the whole chain, but in any one, they'll start stocking the books there. So if you want to go into a Barnes and Noble and put it on order, they'll have it for you in 24 hours, and it's no extra cost. But you can get either book, The Journey to the Catskills, or you can get Hurricane Rescue. You can also order them through Amazon if it's easier to do that. And then there'll be more books coming in the future.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, and I'll put the links in down below for people watching this, listen to this somewhere if they can get it. I'm telling you, it was a pleasure meeting
Yes,
you,
sir.
sir. I'm glad we
I'm
connected.
so glad we were able to connect like that. And Johnson and Wales, I've been over to that school. I was a recruiter for the Air Force. I had to recruit, and what year did you go, may I ask?
Well, a little older in life. I graduated twice, culinary in 2015 and psychology in 2020.
Okay, so I was actually a recruiter I used to go to Johnson and Wales when I was in 1989. So yeah, I didn't know if you were that older, but you're younger. So, okay. But yeah, I have been to Johnson and Wales, and I graduated from, like I told, Bridgewater State College, and my son just graduated from Bridgewater. So did my wife. Bridgewater State now University, and my son just graduated this past Saturday, and I have a second son graduating from Roger Williams University on Friday night this week, and he's going to have his bachelor's as well.
Nice. Do you have any events, book signings, anything going around in the state here in Rhode Island?
Right now, I've asked, and they said they want my name to be one of the reasons I was so glad to do this. They said they want me to get more notoriety, because if they put my name out there, they can advertise, but they want to be able to have more people coming in, which makes sense. Before they'll have to stock the books, and they would be able to guarantee that they'd be able to sell them. So it's like, this helps. And I have an interview with a reporter coming up, be late May, in Newport. She's going to write about my books, write similar, something like this. And they're going to release it, and it's the Newport Daily News, which is actually weekly. And it's a free newspaper, and they do it when I became a park ranger last year, we were the front page of that. So it's the same place, and they're going to interview me, and they'll put it out there. And if they do it in the summer, more people will read it from out of town, and it'll help that way. But this will help as well.
Awesome. Yeah.
If I do that, I will have book sales. I love signing my books. So
you will. I'm going to keep pushing it.
Thank you so much.
And you're going to keep writing. And
if you start a store or something, you let me know, because I'll push people up there and make sure I'll bring people up to check it out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A restaurant or something.
You'll be back on here again. Oh, we'll reconnect on the show in a couple of months.
That would be good. Yeah, I'd like to. Maybe we'll let you know how we're doing, and if by then maybe I'll have another book or two out. So we'll see.
There we go. I can't wait. Everybody, this is a pleasure, Mr.
Rick,
Pinckney.
Thank you so very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Let me see if I can do this right. Am I doing it right? No, it's this.
Yes, sir. Get the net. There you are. Show the knuckles. Good job.
Gotta show the knuckles. All right.
Although, Rick, I'm a sergeant, so I'm an enlisted guy. I offer the salutes to the officers. So.
Oh, okay.
Your friend who joined the military, he's an officer. He would be saluted. So.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
All right. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate this.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. My pleasure. Everyone out there, take care and keep your eye out. Links down below. Buy the book.
And then you'll have to tell me after we're done how I can tell everybody to sign in, because everybody wants to see this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I got it.
Thank you. I'll see you.
See you later.